There he
Whoa.
is.
What up, brother?
What up, dude? How you living, man?
Above average as per usual.
I feel like every time I talk to you, you're doing great, man. It seems like over the past couple years, you've just fucking become a new human who's just reached the higher plane.
I appreciate that, brother. I really do. It's not without its difficulties, of course. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm just fucking a-okay all the time. Like life has its things, of
Yeah,
course. But I've gotten exceedingly better at dealing with things like that and seeing them ultimately from perspective. I think perspective's everything.
absolutely. I see,
But how
speaking of
about yourself, brother?
perspective,
How the fuck are you?
I'm doing so great, man.
Yeah.
Life's been good over the past couple years. I've kind of been winding down into my like Uncle Dubstep era, and like going way back on touring and
Unk
more
step.
in, yeah, dude, and more into what I really love doing, which is teaching. So started Future Proof, and Future Proof is just going great. We're doing a bunch of really cool things. So that's really been just taking all my time, and I've been loving every minute of it. And then just moved out to Northern California last week. So put an offer on a house today. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. You know how it is. You just moved out to Denver, right?
Oh yeah. I just went through it, so I feel you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moved out here like about a month ago. I
How's the
actually
month
haven't
been?
told anybody yet. Like I've just been like
Oh no,
I've just
reveal,
been like quietly
reveal.
living out here. Yeah. But I've when you move into a place, I really want to like put all my energy into like creating it as this space where I'm gonna like, raise my family, make my music, have these memories, and like really curate it. This room has the least work of all the rooms that we've done, but yeah, I've just been quietly living in Denver, getting ready to start th driving my van around and throwing like little chess club slash Smash Bros tournaments with like DJ sets and random parks and shit like that. Just
That's so fun.
because
Are you
there's
are
so
you
much
building a
space for
bus or
that here
what?
in LA. You gotta be careful. So it's a conversion van, so it already has a lot of the bells and whistles, including a generator, which is huge
Yeah.
for if you're gonna throw parties in the middle of of the woods or something.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the goal is to get it to the point where I can just pull up and just open up the doors and it's a party.
Yeah, absolutely. You've always
Maybe
been like a
maybe to the point
traveler,
where it's
man.
like a Burning Man vehicle, but
I know you're a
we're gonna
burner.
take our time.
You're a burner for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, well, I don't know if that's a compliment anymore, but thank
It,
you.
it it definitely it definitely is. Well, what I meant and kind of what
Yeah.
I wanted to breach into was just how kind of much you've done and traveled and always kind of created your own path. And I've noticed you've been moving a bunch, and that's something I've always noticed about you, and also like totally respected about you because that's something that I do too. And sometimes when you leave a place that you're totally established in, it's not understood or perceived by especially the people that you're closest with and leaving, or and that that's kind of something that I've been going through a little bit, and mad respect for just the it's just about the pursuit of happiness, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of the pursuit of happiness and a lot of um adjusting your viewpoint of the world in a way that's so radical that your mind has no choice but to shift the way it looks at things. And Denver offers a lot of things that I find very valuable, especially just like one thing that they do out here that you just don't even realize is so nice until you're there is there's like no billboards. There's like no advertisements, hardly anywhere. There are obviously some, but through a vast majority of the driving that you do, it's just trees and people and buildings. And if you want to know what's in there, there's usually like a little sign outside of the building complex or like the strip mall that says the names of everything inside of it. Instead of like I lived on Ventura Boulevard for a long time, and when you drive down Ventura, it's just so many signs just all reaching into your face as bright and loudly as they can. And it's like, wow. you just don't even realize how nice that is to not have 85,000 advertisements put into your face every day, you know?
Right.
And then you don't, and it's like getting YouTube Premium. You're just like, "Oh God, this is
On your
totally worth it."
life. Yes, absolutely. That's so
It's not a
crazy.
sponsored ad. This is not a sponsored ad.
Not at all. I mean, dude, that's great, man.
But yeah, man.
It's been awesome to follow your journey and the progress of the project from the honestly the very beginning. I feel like I've known you for a long ass time, and we kind of came up together. And
I think 13 years.
yeah, something like
13
that.
years, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, which is insane.
Hmm.
How long that is. And
Yeah.
what honestly, like, I mean, a lot of the things that you've done in my eyes have been awesome, but I think that the hardest thing to do is sustainability, longevity, and health. And I feel like you've done all three of those things. It feels like you had a big kind of health turnaround, not super recently, but in the past like 5 years, right?
Yeah, man. 100%. It was just a matter of looking at ingredients one day and I'm like, holy shit, like we are all eating poison just unconsciously. And once I removed that and then I started feeling better and then I started taking care of myself because I think every single artist and for just individual in general who drinks or smokes or parties a lot, you get to a point and if you don't, then that's neither here nor there. Most people get to a point where they realize, wait, if I want to have longevity of health and wealth and well-being, this can't go on the way that it has been. Like when you get a brand new car, of course you're gonna fucking torque the engine, you're gonna drive real fast, and you're gonna fucking do some risky maneuvers. But after a while, you got to maintain it. You got to take care of it because you actually do only get one, and it's your body, you know?
Yeah, it's actually not
And
a car. Yeah.
same for your mind. A healthy body is a healthy mind. And so if you're not keeping both of those on track, then unfortunately one will outweigh the other, and then you're going to have to figure out how to solve it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole that's the whole yin and yang of this entire reality ultimately.
Right. And you're just always constantly adjusting and just also just trying to do your best. You know, that's what it is. But have you noticed any sort of like increase in creative output since you became just like a beast? Because you're like super fit, you're eating good, you look
Thanks for
fantastic,
calling me a
dude.
beast. I
You look amazing,
Thanks,
man.
bro. I'm trying. I got a long way to go. You know,
Classic.
thank you, brother. I mean, I got a long way to go. It's
Yeah.
never done.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as creative output, that has been one that's been quite an adventure with for me because in the last like the beginning of this year was I had so much intention towards this being this like monumental perfect year, right? And it started with the fires in LA. Like immediately my house is within a mile of this huge like historic LA fire and I'm like, well, here we fucking go. And so
Yeah.
now I'm living in a hotel with my pregnant fiance, and it's like, you know, because she's pregnant during the time. There's no way. If it was just me, I may have just stuck around and been like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
But the air quality was so bad that I'm not going to put her or my unborn child in danger. So that's how we started the year. You know, I was ready for like all this rev up that I had, and then that's life. And it's like, oh, okay, that's just one problem. You know, we'll get by it, and we got by it. And then, you
Yeah.
know, there's a whole other slew of nonsense that took place with my landlord. I can't get into the details of that, but ultimately it was chaotic and it was just one of those things that pushed me so far away from being creative because I was so focused on the health and well-being of my family. And so I was at a little bit of a standstill with my creativity for a while, but I will say happily, as of this last month since I moved to Denver, I'm feeling a huge like opening of the water valve of creative ideas starting to come in again because there's actually this I'm gonna butcher the name of it, but there's a list of imperatives that was thought up by the psychologist who said that in order to reach your ultimate potential, you must first take care of the critical necessities, which start with food, water, shelter, and security is a big one. Security is a really big one too,
Mm.
where you feel like you can breathe, you've got your systems in place, everything's there. And then once you find community connection, and then for some romantic connection. And at that point, theoretically, you have everything you need. You've got your finances in check, your home is in check, your love life's in check, and your relationships are in check. At that point, you can fully turn inward and start to have the most true and honest expressions of your gratitude toward life in creative ways because you're finally at that point where you can fucking breathe. And a lot of creatives get stuck in this point where they're trying so hard to make shit work, but they're ignoring the other issues that they have in their life. And everyone operates differently, especially when we're talking about something as ambiguous as creativity. So some people can have their house on fire and still write a fire track. But
Yeah.
for a lot of people, and anyone who may hear this and starting to nod their heads like, yeah, I got that in the background of my mind all day, just take care of that. Take care
Mm.
of it in the best way that you can. And if it's not something that can be fixed immediately, do one thing towards solving it. And you're going to feel that much better when you sit down to be creative because you know that thing in the back of your mind, you did something about it today and you're a step closer to solving it. And you're that much more comfortable sitting in that chair for hours on end doing what you love.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a good point about security and checking off all the boxes that I think a lot of people take for granted and don't take care of, and then wonder why things aren't working out the way that they want to, or maybe they're not able to create the way they want to. I think you brought up an interesting way to talk about creativity, which is you said something like it was just like a reflection of the beauty of the world, which I think is such a really cool way to think about creativity. And you're right that people can, there's plenty of depressed people that make amazing art, right? But how awesome would it be to
Totally.
be happy and also make amazing art? You know, if you can help it. And I think that's really real for sure. So I think that's such a great point to just check in on yourself, make sure that, hey, okay, cool, things aren't going. I mean, I can't even tell you how often I talk to people and they're like, I'm in a rut. What do I do? You know, I think a lot of times the first kind of solution there is like, are you good? You know, is everything okay? And is there anything you can do about it? You know, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's like you do your best, right?
Right.
But I think that out of all of those things, you know,
Yeah,
the thing
man.
that you said was the
And when
most
you
important.
can't do something about it, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to say the thing that you said was the most important is often the toughest one, and that's security.
Yes, it is. It is a very difficult one to guarantee because, it could be your living situation, it could be your finances, it could be a whole your health even, it could be a plethora of things that where you don't have that like I'm fucking good right now. And we've all experienced those moments where you feel that and you're like, dude, right now everything is in check. In those moments, you're able to truly just have fun with your shit because you're you're at a point in your life where you feel okay to have you feel like you're allowed, which let's be real, that's kind of like really fucked up when you think about the fact that our culture and a lot of our culture teaches us that if you are going to be happy, you have to be productive. And so you try to be productive, but you're not happy because of these other things. So you get into this like, snake eating itself situation where the problem can't solve the problem because the problem is the problem, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's just one of those things. You have to dance with it and figure it out on your own terms. One of the easiest ways to start with that is just get a pen and paper and write down your problems. If you just write them down, you're already halfway done with solving them. That's like an old adage that I've heard, and it works pretty much every time. It feels smaller because it's not this thing that's in your head that you can blow up to gigantic proportions. As soon as you see it written down, you're like, oh, it's pretty small actually, you know?
right. It's manageable once it's on a list. It's just words, you know, at that point.
hmm
Speaking of inspiration and things like that, I wanted to ask you where, so you're in this new space, clearly happy and have a lot of your things in order, which is huge. Where's some of your favorite places to draw inspiration from? Like what's inspiring you creatively now? It seems like you're being super productive and outputting a lot of awesome things. Like what's fueling that? Where do you what's the pot that you reach into for that creative energy?
Um, Honestly, it's giving yourself permission to make something shitty. You got to give yourself permission to just not fucking care, straight up. Because if you go into every single creative session with this is the day where I make the song that changes my life and does yada yada yada, you're already coming at it from a place that you never started from, right? Like you started making music because there was something you needed to express that couldn't be put into words. That's well, at least I imagine that's why most people start, in my opinion, at least. And if you get to that point, if you forget that, you forget the why, which is having fun, then you start taking it so seriously, right? They say that good advice is just someone talking to themselves because I've definitely done that. And I've had that moment where I'm like, all right, I gotta get fucking serious about this shit. I gotta get fucking serious. And it's like, dude, you're already ruining the song before you even start because it's coming from this pretentious, like, you know, financially motivated, egotistically motivated, numbers motivated place instead of, when a kid goes outside and picks up a stick and throws it at a tree, he's not quantifying any outside things to what he's doing. He's just stick, tree, throw. Cool, awesome. And there's nothing else to it. Um, and that's how we should approach music because and if you take it too seriously, music it's like you don't work a piano, you play the piano. That's by design. It's meant to be played. um so to answer your question, like a lot of my inspiration is coming from remembering what it was like to be a kid and not give so many fucks about like metrics or what other people are doing or numbers or any of the scoreboard. Throw the
Yeah.
scoreboard in the fucking trash and pull out the canvas, and just make art, man. Just make art and do it because you love it.
I think that's super cool. The concept of, a lot of times as a teacher, you have to quantify things oftentimes, and you have to say, this is the solution to this. And you go and do this. And with art, that's not the easiest thing, right? But I love the idea. And honestly, I don't even know if I've ever thought about this before, to reach for memories and like the concept of a simpler time as inspiration, as opposed to like for me, when I like go for, you'd be like, oh, someone loves to walk in the woods, or they do meditations, or they watch movies, or like those are very traditional ways of just like pull out the inspiration hose and drink from it, right?
Yeah.
But like I love the more kind of metaphysical concept of like, let me be this other thing that I once was, where things were easier, and you're kind of subconsciously crafting this world where making music is easy because you don't give a fuck, right? It's just like,
Exactly.
yeah, I love
totally
that.
feel that, man. And yeah, reaching into your memories is a wonderful place to start. Like remembering that moment when you're like, holy shit, I fucking love this so much. I need to know everything there is to know about it. And
Mm,
when you very first started, you approached the whole thing like a kid because you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna have fun. You
yeah.
weren't setting any precedents. It was just this this honesty, this authentic approach to art. And like I think back sometimes to the first time when I was in a warehouse. I went to a warehouse rave because I came from death metal, and all my friends made fun of me for wanting to go to a rave. Bro, it's fucking lame. You go listen to techno, and I'm like, yeah, I am. In fact, I didn't know what it was. I just walked in, and I had never heard hardstyle in my life.
I mean, those
And then I just
Arizona
hear,
desert
what the
raves.
fuck? Kong, kong, kong. Dude.
That's where I
It
started
was
too, dude. It was fucking, you pull up.
no shit.
Yeah, dude. I went to Arizona State, so like that was the birth of Prototype. Was there? You would get the address, you would
That's
drive to
right.
another spot, and then they would send you to another spot, and then and then you would be in fucking Prescott, and there would be dirty cops at the gate. The biggest
Yeah.
bonfire you've ever seen in your whole life, people shooting guns and hard style. And you're like,
Yep.
what? That was what my
So much hard
experience, the
style.
hard style and happy hardcore, right? Like for sure, like out the gate, you're like,
Oh
what is
yeah.
going
Oh
on
yeah.
here?
Pretty rave girl, all that. Yeah.
That was the time. That
Man,
was the time.
and, and that's what I'm saying is like I remember that moment. I still feel that moment when I walked into that like warehouse and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? And it captured me. Like right then and there, it fucking captured me. And I started like looking into, Reason was my first go-to, was figuring out how to use Reason. Shout out Maelstrom
Yeah,
for creating a genre. But
totally.
yeah, it was a critical moment. I think everyone has that critical moment
Yeah.
where like it's no longer an if and or but. It's like I must do this.
Right, absolutely. I think my critical moment was certainly at an Arizona desert rave. There was this local Arizona DJ. I think it was DJ Transit was his name. Anyways, he wasn't even a dubstep DJ, but
I remember that name.
yeah, he was crushing. He like ran shit. I'm talking like 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010,
Yep.
around then, and it was some very very obscure Rusco song. And I was a freshman in college or something like that. And I was like, I have no idea what this is, but this is my life now. This is the only thing I'm going to do, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, this is amazing. So that's awesome. I mean, the Arizona rave voice, that's crazy. No one knows about that. No one, that doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. It can't. I mean, it does, probably like Burning Man and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but
No,
not outlawed like that. Like, the flyers and shit, you know?
Yeah, man. That's kind of how it seems that's the natural progression of most things is it starts out as this really unique time and a place, and then if it's a really great one, then it gets really popular, and with more people come more changes, come new versions of that culture. And then, with new versions of that culture, usually when they update anything, any kind of software updates, there's new rules, new guidelines, new this, new that. Like, that at that time period, it would be wild if someone came up to me and they're like, um, I'm a rave influencer. It's like in 2009 in a warehouse, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah, that's
about? You're a
hilarious.
rave influencer? And now it's a whole industry, you know?
Absolutely.
So things change over time, and that's just kind of how it goes. You can't be too stuck in the past, right? I feel
Yeah,
like I don't want to be an old man shaking his fist at a cloud. I remember how it used to be. It's like, no, you gotta evolve with the times. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of evolving with the times, this is not exactly the best transition, but it was an opening here. So like let's talk about Gengar. I want to talk about Gengar and the kind of, I don't want to say
Sure.
pivot because they're running in parallels, right? But the switch there, was there a moment of like frustration with Ghastly or just love for dubstep or bass music, or like what made you decide to be like, okay, cool, this is going to be a new thing. It's going to be different. It's going to have a different name. I'm going to wear a fucking mask. It's going to be sick. I got to get the mask made. I got to get the visuals. It's time. Like, what was that like for you?
Ultimately, it came from I think it came from my love of metal music
Mm.
and just like my background. Like as a kid, I would always draw monsters. My favorite superhero was Spawn. I've always been obsessed with
I mean, mine
creatures and
too.
what have
Spawn's the
you.
best.
And on top of that, yeah, Spawn is king, and he deserves a remake. That movie needs a remake.
It's still so good
It's
though. It is
I love Spawn.
amazing. Yeah, that movie's awesome.
But it's still really good. It's so
Yeah.
fucking cheesy, but it's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The Violator in that is so awesome. And
Oh my
some of the
God. John
CGI from the Violator
Leguizamo.
scene just totally outperforms
Yeah.
anything that we see today. Everything's too squishy. Everything looks too good.
The
Like, how did
Violator.
they do that in 1993? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Um, exactly. So like, I'm the Violator. That's
It's
right.
so good.
Um, but like monsters and metal and death metal and all this like really aggressive dark stuff, even though I'm like this happy-go-lucky person, I've always had a fascination for the occult and the darker sides of art. And I love Ghastly as a project because it allows me to also emphasize my love for like harmonious things, fun things, house, all that shit. But when I looked at, I had this just feeling that I needed to create something that was of that essence, that had like, that gave me that out of that emotion because a lot of times, with like house music, it's a very specific vibe. You don't headbang to house. Some people do. Hey, go for it. Right on. But oftentimes house is just it's that vibe. It's that
That's exactly the
which is
vibe. Yeah.
fun and it's a good time. But like coming from being in death metal bands and like my old band, the Irish Front, for 2 years, or 4 years, I was screaming about like bloody poop and unibrows and all this ridiculous shit, like uh there was one called Carnivorium where we made up this like fake restaurant that was owned and operated by cavemen who were serving like giraffes and like gazelles, and you could just like, it's just the ridiculous concept, and we're screaming these lyrics, and and the energy of those shows were very, very, very aggressive.
Hmm.
Like we played at this place oftentimes called, if you're in Arizona, maybe you remember this. There's a place called Metal Devastation 2 by chance. Do you know that one?
No, I don't think so. It was in Phoenix.
It was somewhere in between Phoenix and Glendale. I forget exactly. But it was just this big black box, right? It's just
Hmm.
this huge building, or straight up just box, and it was straight up black. And there was a giant pentagram outside of it, and we would go there and we would play. And in the room, it was about a 200 cap, and you there was just more pentagrams. There was like upside down crosses being shoved into people's whats, and all kinds of mayhem around us. And during the shows, people would literally just beat the shit out of each other. It was really, really violent. Oftentimes, it was just slam dancing, and you would just give each other space, but you'd get that one guy that go in there, boom, he'd try to hit as many people as he could. And I'm up there like, and it was just like this. It was very Neanderthalistic, and I love that feeling. And so when I play a Ghastly set, I started to make some dubstep for Ghastly for a while, and it felt like I need to create an avenue for this energy so it's its own thing, because with a Ghastly set comes a certain level of expectation of me to play songs like LSD and We Might Fall, these like really pretty songs, and then also the house songs that did really well and all
Hmm.
that. And so it's like, all right, we've got a lot of different items on the menu. And I'm one who does like eclectic sets. I do like a set that can go from house to dubstep to drum and bass and a little bit of everything, because, you listen to this music long enough, you start to like all of it. That's in my opinion,
Of
at
course,
least.
certainly.
Um, and and so, it just felt really natural. I'm like, well, I'm gonna mix my love of monsters, video games, and dubstep into one thing, and metal into one thing. And it's been fucking awesome because I'm like creating this like monster and this universe that it lives in, and it's been a really, really fun experience to be able to have that outlet and
Mm.
to not hold it in anymore, holding back this like angry energy.
Yeah, people don't know that you're
But
just a true
simultaneously, I
psychopath.
fucking
Yeah.
I fucking love Ghastly so much. Yeah, I mean, maybe not to the exact definition, but somewhere in the ballpark, maybe. I think we all might be.
Well, what's really cool is something I've always associated with not just Ghastly, but just you, David, as dude, is kind of just doing whatever the fuck you want. And this is a conversation that we've had almost every week or every month that we've done this podcast. And it's the decision as an artist to say you're coming out of the gates, right? Brand new artist. Do you just do whatever the fuck you want? Do you do an album filled with multiple genres and it's everything? Or is it, I'm doing this, this is me, and it's this thing, right? Say it's drum and bass, for example. Like I'm a drum and bass artist. Even though I love and make tech house and dubstep, I think you made an important conscious decision, and you said it, and I had kind of imagined that this is how it went. Was you did you made dubstep as Ghastly, and you were like, cool. This, and then you made probably something super aggressive, and we're like, okay, this probably needs to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah, when you start mixing Lorna Shore into a set, it's like, okay, I don't think I can play a pretty chord after this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But and you can do it all, It's not to everyone should go their own path. Like when you look at how someone else does something, you can take note, but never copy the notes. You know what I mean? Take your own notes, but never copy them because ultimately you're gonna end up following a path that isn't entirely yours. Like I naturally wanted to do this because it's what I naturally wanted to do. Um, it was one of those things where you just feel it. And a lot of people could see that and say, well, I want to do it exactly like that. Well, as long as that's what you naturally really do want to do, then go for it. But otherwise, the formula to success oftentimes doesn't come from it never almost never comes from copying. It comes from being inspired by. So it's just so important to not look at how someone else did something and then assume that it'll be the same for you because nobody has the same path ever. That's like that's like imagine like your perspective right now, whoever everyone who's listening to this, whatever you're seeing and doing right now, your brain is the only version of that reality that exists with that exact amount of surroundings and that exact outfit. No one else will ever see exactly what you're seeing. And so that's why it's so vital that you follow your path that's in your mind, as opposed to looking at someone else's and saying, well, I should go that same route. I think a good example of this would be like the meta of, uh did I just make the song of the summer? Like that's something that a lot of artists have done, and they've done it naturally, and they've done it because that's, what they enjoy. And they actually they can cringe through it because, it's only cringe until you're successful, right?
That's so
But
real.
um, a lot of people will look at that and they're like, okay, well, I guess that's what I have to do. I must do exactly what they're doing, right? And so they set up their camera and you can see they're like really awkward with it. And they're not, because they're not naturally like that for being on camera. And that can take some time and you can get good at that. But what you should be looking at is instead of copying someone else's homework, create your own test. What is what makes me different from anyone else in the world? What makes me me and everyone else, right? And then find out what that is, hone in on that, and find a way to express that is authentically yours. Showcasing your music doesn't always have to be you pointing at the camera and making a bass face. Sometimes it could be something as simple as like telling a story with like words. Like if you just have, and I've seen that work for a lot of people too, where they just if you like so and so, swipe. My name is blah blah, swipe. I wrote this song for my mom who passed away, swipe. I hope you like it. And it's like this, but that was authentic.
Yeah.
They put that out from their heart and from what was comfortable with them to share, and it gives a human connection versus an advertisement, which is what it often feels like when someone's copying someone else's homework as far as like creating media for stuff. Um, but that's not to say you should be inspired by what other people do, but always do it in your own way. When you copy someone, it really takes away, that's like using their fingerprints, you have your own. You have the capacity to do this. It just starts with you believing you can and opening up your mind to the possibility of it. Because if you're doing this circular thought process of, well, I want to do this, but so and so did it better, I should copy them. Oh, it flopped. Uh, I want to do this, so and so did it, blah, 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 it flopped. And then you have this like rotation of bad decisions when it has to start with you saying, I know who I am and I know how I want to express that. And that takes time and you can't rush it. And when you find it, that's when you'll see uh this magnetism of other individuals starting to notice your work because you're putting it out there in a way that is a way that only you could. And people relate to that because they want to see real people, not templates, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I know that it's interesting because style and what your style is really is just the sum of the things you like and the way that your brain has adapted them and combined them into this soup of output that you put out, right? And that's like,
I like that. That's well worded.
it's you're just eating the world, right? And what comes out
Yeah.
is the things that you like, right? One of the things I wanted to ask you about is what was your support system like as a young artist? Like, how important would you say it is to have like not in like a family way, like did my mom and dad support me, more of like, are you surrounded by like-minded grinding artists, and how essential was that to you? Like, when did you get to LA, and like when you got there, were you just in the mix with everybody, and did that affect your grind and your desire to be successful? And like, would you recommend, like, even if it's just a crew of like 2 or 3 people, someone to hold you accountable, right?
Mm. Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, community is critical, and when it comes to art, it's fundamental, and you know this. I mean, you're running a music school that is community, and you know when we met, it was you were one of the first um, dubstep DJs I ever met, where I was like, oh, he's so cool, he's doing it, you know, because I didn't have any like EDM, like a lot of EDM friends.
Yeah.
I was primarily surrounded by like actors and models and the like, and you know, just people who, you know, they didn't fully understand the culture. They may have been a raver, but they didn't, you know, have the passion to go forth and figure out how to actually make the shit.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, it goes without saying that if you can find a really tight-knit community of like-minded individuals who are aiming at the same goal as you, you're going to see naturally, you're going to see some major growth because, you know, when you put one person on a task versus 100 people on a task, the task gets completed much faster. And that's to say that, you know, and we've had this experience where you're sitting down with another producer, or most people, I imagine, and you're like, wow, I never thought of that. That's genius. Now I'm going to save so much time when I do so and so and X and Y and Z. And then they might show you something that you would have never come across in a million years that sort of like starts to uh burn the spark out of nowhere from where there was nothing. Suddenly there's a spark, and that's where you can really you know, hone in on something special. Because if you aren't surrounding yourself with other people, you're only getting your taste, and that's fine as long as you have this passion for what you're listening for. And you know, the music that you're listening to is something that I would argue is just as valuable.
Mm.
If you're just producing music and you're not really listening to any, something I've noticed is it's very, I find it detrimental personally. It
Mm.
can be beneficial in the sense that you're creating something entirely from your mind, and there's no inspiration outside of you. It's just coming from a feeling within you. And I've definitely created some of my favorite songs doing that. But a majority of my favorite works come from the inspiration I find in artists that I look up to or
Mm.
colleagues showing me what they're working on. And it creates this like that forward momentum of like, oh, I'm excited to get behind the laptop again and start tapping away at keys and, you know, automating shit again. You're excited to automate and like do the fucking hard part, you
Yeah.
know? Um, yeah, if you have a tight-knit community, that's going to take you very far. It's very important. I mean, I in LA, it felt like everyone was coming from LA for a while.
Yeah.
Like 2015 to 2018, there was just this explosion of artists out of Los Angeles, you know? And to be a part of that was a blessing, an absolute blessing. And I'm very grateful for it to this day. Um, and that happened because we were all friends. We were all hyping each other up, going to each other's shows, like and when you have that community around you, you feel invincible. Feel like you're taking on the world.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, dude, 2014, 2015, 2016 in LA was like just peak. It was insane just how fun it was. Everyone was just you're right, everyone was friends. And I think that, now now more than ever, especially with producers coming from everywhere, small towns, everyone's not just coming from LA anymore, right? It can be really hard as a new artist to feel that connection. So without being super spammy about Future Proof, like the community aspect of it is undeniably important. And without even joining Future Proof, join a Discord, find some homies. What I used to do when I was really young in LA was me and my buddies used to put like money on the line about goals. We were so competitive. I was debatably too competitive about music, and I lost friends over it. It's not the thing I'm the most proud about. It did kind of get me to where I was, but it also lost me a lot. But like, we used to be like, this is the goal. We're all on the same goal. If this doesn't get done, someone's owing a little bit of money. And like just that little bit of incentive on accountability. And then you have this like core group of people who will do anything that needs to be done to reach your goals. And the power of that is insane. Just like you could do anything, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, brother. And I respect that you can acknowledge that, you have to be able to look at where you slipped up and also acknowledge that like that was a fundamental moment in my life at the same time. While it may not be your favorite memory, it certainly led you to greater pastures. And if you aren't able to reflect that way, it's going to hold you back big time because nothing's ever your fault. Nothing's ever your fault. I feel like a lot of people live like that.
Yeah.
It's I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like vast majority of your problems are 100% your fault and get solved until you acknowledge them
Yeah.
and take responsibility for them. Once you
Yeah.
do that, you kind of develop a superpower, you know?
Yeah.
Suddenly life's problems are a game and you can beat them instead of this thing that's beating on you, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you said about community, man, it is really important. And if you have doubters around you, oh, you're so lucky. You should love when people doubt you. You should be super stoked about that. Because if someone is doubting you, that is a clear indicator that you're doing something that goes off of the NPC timeline. They're like, what? Well, you're gonna try to make it in music? It's never gonna work. You're not good enough. You're not, like, oh, that is fuel. Give me yum yum. That's that good shit, man. When someone doesn't believe in you, it's all perspective. Everything is
Mm.
perspective, as I said at the top of this. And so when someone doesn't believe in you, it's like, oh, watch this. You don't know me, and you got to have that attitude,
Yeah.
and it's a fundamental attitude in making it in this game. It's like if you're going at it like, oh, I sure hope people like me one day. They don't like my music. I better not share it. It's like, bro, you're insulting the universe. Like the universe went out of its way to create you as a unique being, and you're going to not share your truest art because someone else is offended by your expression of it. You gotta delete that coding, my friend. You gotta delete that coding.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's such a cool way to look at it. It's interesting is that music production and becoming an artist, chasing your dreams, becoming the person you were meant to be, all these things, right? Super hard to do, right? It only makes sense that you would have people trying to make it harder. And there's always the greatest resistance before you break through the door. Like my wife and I, we just went through this huge transitional period in our lives, right? Like leaving the place I was born in, like leaving all of our friends to go and take a risk and to upgrade, right? And that is something that I've done a few points in my life. And at this point, I've done it so many times that I know when there's resistance that it's absolutely correct. Like nothing, no one could stop me. I'm like, this is correct. And then to have like, my wife Charmaine, she's the same way. So to have two people thinking that same way about it, we have our own like supportive community, just like you do with your family. You're absolutely right that if there are people being like, nah, that's dumb, there you go. That's the one. You're doing it, like you have to. You have to do that. And that is fuel.
Oh, yeah.
And that's essential. But it's hard, right? To be that hard, to tough skinned, like.
Absolutely. It's super hard. And what you just said reminded me of a study that they did on chimpanzees. They took, I think it was like five chimpanzees, and they trained all five of these chimpanzees that if they climb up a ladder and they grab a banana, they'll grab it, but then it'll spray. I think it's something like spraying water on all the other chimpanzees. Like that one would get a banana, but they would all get pissed because that one did it.
Yeah.
Um, Oh, how does it go? I'm blowing this, but someone out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. Ultimately, the point of it is that these chimpanzees were trained that if someone reaches for that banana, that it's going to cause problems for them. So they all grab them and pull them down and they beat them up, and some of them got killed doing it. Like it was chaos, all because they were reaching for their goals. And
Yeah.
so those chimpanzees would get in line too. They're like, my bad, I won't go up there and do it anymore. And then another chimpanzee would be introduced. He'd try to go up, and that one who got beat up, now he's doing it too. Hey, get down from there, pulling him down. And I think there is such a strong pathway into reality from that study because, the only people who are going to tell you that you can't do it are people who, in my opinion, have uh, faced the pain of regret, which is they didn't chase something that they knew they wanted. And if you are that person, it's never too late. You can always change your ways. Maybe, stop focusing on other people chasing theirs and go for yours.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, man, if you have people trying to pull you down, sometimes it's not because they have a problem with you, it's because they have a problem with themselves. That's oftentimes what it is because they don't want to face it. And you chasing that goal is a reminder to them that they didn't. And don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Just take it as a sign that you're doing something special and keep going.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that they had a study where they made just hater monkeys. That's crazy to me.
Hater monkeys, bro.
Hater monkeys. That's wild. But I mean that makes perfect sense to me. Okay. So if you were to give a new artist, right, someone who's maybe they know how to make music, they've got their artist name, maybe they've had one release, and they're just they need some help. If you were to give them 3 tips on the 3 things that you need the most to succeed in following your dreams, what would you tell them?
Um, Success in the music industry is directly correlated with the community that you create. So it doesn't matter if it's 5 million, 10 million people, or 5 people or 10 people. Those people that are paying attention to what you're doing, especially the early era ones, those are your goated fans. And they are gonna, they're the foundation of your community. Um, Talk to them. Talk to them, help them feel involved, even go as far as to just be like, hey, I really appreciated your comment. I wanted to send you this song I'm working on. Are you worried about them leaking it? Get over yourself. Just send them the music, and then they'll feel this connection to you like, wow, this artist that I love just sent me a track that they're working on. Like they're always going to remember that, and they're going to talk about that. And then you're going to develop a community of people who are stoked that that's how you operate with them because I mean, it works for some people to be the mysterious, the inaccessible artist, if you will.
Sure.
But in my opinion, Michael Jackson was the last person to ever be able to truly do that, where bro could just stand on stage and people would pass the fuck out, like, oh my God, he's so cool.
Right.
Like, and he's a legend for that. But, if we're in a new era, I think after the implementation of social media. And now you can literally just cuss out Barack Obama right now if you want to. Like, we aren't disconnected from celebrities anymore. You can
Mm.
just at them on Twitter. You can just talk shit to people, anyone you want. And that, in my opinion, has removed the veil of exclusivity from, and a lot of people just want authentic individuals now. Like
Yeah.
I think we could even call it the era of the death of the celebrity because, especially during COVID when like all these rich people are like, we're in this together. It's like, bro, you're on a freaking 3-acre mansion. We're not. We're not in this together. And it kind of disillusioned people from that.
Yeah.
My all of this to say, and go back to what we were saying, that your community, like it is just in your creative aspect, it's also just as vital in your careers aspect because I have certain fans that I'm really close with that I reach out to whenever I'm in their area, where we all hang out in my Discord and we make, jokes and memes and masks and we all just hang out. And I can count on them being at shows and I like 9 out of 10 times I'll guest list them if I get around to it. Sometimes I miss it because I'm not, but I go out of my way for that, and I go out of my way for them because without them you don't got shit. You
Mm.
got nada.
Hmm.
Without your fans, without your students, without the people who support what you do, it's just a hobby. Um, so that would be number one is start talking to the fans that are paying attention. Someone posted something that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. They're like upset. They're upset that like, oh, my post used to get X amount of engagement. Now it's like not even worth it. And it's like, well, the 200 people that liked your post, they found it worth it. How do you think they feel when you say they're not worth it?
Mm.
You know, they're totally worth it. Don't get your head out of the fucking numbers and start focusing on what you're cultivating. What is your intention with this project that you're creating? What is the ultimate outcome that you see? Is it just you getting famous and rich and DJing? Or do you want to contribute to society and kind of move the global consciousness in a positive direction because you have something important to share? Um, I feel like when you do things from that place, the universe respects it more and gives more leeway for it, um, as opposed to just satisfying the ego. Um, Second would be you have to get fucking obsessed. Like you have to be so obsessed that it freaks people out and it pisses people off. And there's so many examples of this. I've hung out with, so many artists where they finish this huge set. And if you were so inclined, you could celebrate in this moment. But instead, they go straight back to the green room, open up the laptop, and keep working. Now, this level of commitment is terrifying to some people because, well, when do I get to enjoy this? When do I get to just enjoy what I'm doing? Well, you can, and you absolutely are allowed to. There's no one stopping you from grabbing that champagne and enjoying it, and honestly, no one's going to blame you. But at the end of the day, if you want to get to a level that you could not ever perceive, you have to do something that you've never done before. In order to become who you want to be, you have to kill the person that you are. In order to get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And that, in my opinion, obsession is the number one thing. You have to get obsessed with frequencies and sounds and percussions and how they're created, where to create them, where to get them. Music, 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 always keeping music in your ears. And this is something that I come back and forth to. It's not for me. I'm trying to perfect my obsession with music because sometimes I'll fall out of it
Yeah.
because fuck man, I got into chess for like a long time where I was like obsessed with it. And granted I'm a 1300 elo now, which is really fairly high up, but I I worked so hard for that and then I would come back to music and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I spent so much time working on this chess thing. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking grease the wheels on this car again because I haven't driven it in a while. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with doing side roads, side quests. I think it can be vital to reminding you why you love what you do the most. Um, but it don't go too far on the side quests. You got to come back to the main storyline and finish the game. And that requires being obsessed with it. Um, the third and final thing, dude. Yeah, I think I said it earlier, but it's important. It's so important. Um, as you approach the day and you wake up and you're about to start working on music, say to yourself, I give myself permission to make something shitty today. Because now you're in that mindset. You're in that mindset to just have fun.
Mm.
And, it's funny, right? The dichotomy of the two things that I just said is on one hand, you must be obsessed to reach these enormous levels where you're able to pull like, 10,000 people to an arena. You have to be obsessed. You look at someone like Fred again or Subtronics or Skrillex or anyone like this, that person's fucking obsessed with this. There's not a single artist that's at that level where you can't see that.
Hmm.
And it shows in their successes. Um, but at the same time, you got to just have fun. You got to just not take it so fucking serious. So it's this slinky, right? Going back and forth of like, be obsessed and really, really try, but also don't try at all and don't give a fuck. It's that, but that's the balancing act of a creative. That's the ultimate tightrope walk that you must do every day. And if you balance enough on it, you will get to where the other side of that rope.
Yeah, I mean, those are three great tips. I think I really resonate with the giving your like building on the whole concept of giving yourself permission to make something shitty. I think it goes even further to like give yourself permission to like not be perfect and to mess up and all the time and to not get things right, but never forget to pat yourself on the back for doing the damn thing because it's so hard.
Hell yeah.
It's so hard, but that doesn't mean you don't do it, but you have to do it, right? Like you have to do it.
Yep.
And that's everything. Those are three really good points. I think that's really great advice. I think that's fantastic advice. Okay, should we get into some production? You know what? I want to answer some before we get into the production stuff. I would love to do like some questions from the Nexus members. If you're down to answer some questions from them.
Let's knock those two things off though.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, we got some like random things here. So we've got, what was it like working with Skrillex and Owsla back in the day? What happened? And is there any chance of Owsla coming back? You don't know the answer to that. There's no way, but no one does, right?
Right. Working with Skrillex and Owsla was obviously like a dream come true. It was one of the most incredible moments of my career and my life to, I was working at Daily Grill in downtown Los Angeles
Hard.
when I got an email from Sonny that said, "Hey, if you can make it to Burning Man, would love to discuss working with you and releasing your music in the future." And it's like, well, holy fucking shit, that's an email that I just read. And so I went to my day job and I told them, I'm like, hey, I need some time off to go to Burning Man. And they were like, no, that's not going to happen. And I was like, well, then I fucking quit. And so I spent my last couple $100s that I had in my bank account to go to Burning Man. And sure enough, we ran into each other, and there was that moment where he was like, "So, bro, you want to do this?" And just, sent me on this like journey, and I'm
Wow.
so grateful for it. So fucking grateful. Dude's an absolute legend for that. And upon entering that realm and like obviously it's like we were talking about earlier, the 2014 to 2018, like that pocket of time in Los Angeles was just so overwhelmingly bountiful with like music and inspiration. And
Yeah.
Owsla was this like massive force to be reckoned with, and tastemakers and the like,
Mm,
creating legends left and right. So
truly.
many to this day are still here.
Yeah.
Um, and so being in that was a beautiful thing, and I'm eternally grateful for it. And I do think that Ausla will come back one day. I
Yeah.
mean, the the signs are there. The
Yeah.
signs are there, 100%.
Yeah. The bro step is there, which is what matters, you know?
The
Um,
bro step, bro.
yeah. Okay. This is okay. This is not a question, but 666 with Getter remains one of my favorite tracks of all time. That's just a nice comment. Um, oh, here's a
Oh
good
yeah.
one. How did your time at the Ghost House influence your sound and path as a DJ slash producer?
The Ghost House.
I don't know what the Ghost House is.
I'm not what that is.
Okay, cool. We'll move on. Um,
Time at the Ghost House. I'm not sure.
fine.
I
So
think
these are
maybe they mean haunted house. I'm
yes,
not sure.
probably. That sounds right. Can you answer it with haunted house?
Um,
I don't know.
I mean that was an album and a stage, so I don't know. I'm probably
Yeah.
missing the question.
Yeah, all good.
It's all good.
All right, cool. We already kind of talked about inspiration here. Here's a good one. I don't know how to get sets. This is, as a starting out music producer, I don't know how to get sets without meeting a promoter. Do you have any ideas for getting some live sets going? Like, how would you recommend booking
Um,
gigs early on, getting
yeah,
gigs?
I mean, I'll tell you the way I did it, and then you can take inspiration from that if that's what
Yeah.
you need. But I I'm gonna really date myself, right? I was on Craigslist, looking up DJ gigs when I was in
Yeah.
LA, and taking pretty much any opportunity I could possibly find. One of those being a promoter. And I was a promoter for Exchange LA, where I was selling tables, I was selling bottle service, bro. And I was the guy who would walk up, hey, you look to the guy with like a group of girls, hey, you look like the type of guy who knows how to show these ladies a nice night. I got the show for you. We got MK out here at Exchange LA. I'm gonna give you a solid deal on this table. We'll take 20% off on me. Don't worry about it. And that was so I started there.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, I was like, hey, I talked creating friends with the promoters and the people who ran the joint. It's like, hey, like I'm a DJ too. And I would love to like open up the gallery, right? Like the side room.
Yeah.
And so I started there. I started opening the gallery. And then after they developed trust with me, then I was a resident for the venue. That was a critical moment for me. And a lot of times it is a lot of reaching out. It's a lot of sending your work, but now we live on such a metric based meta that says you have to have, like, I've seen people turn down for shows because they don't have enough followers on TikTok. And I just want to go ahead and point out that that's not always a good metric for seeing the success or the pull of an artist, because oftentimes, and you see it a lot, there's artists that don't have that much social media pull, but they'll sell out Red Rocks.
Hmm.
They'll bring out a massive amount of people to all these different shows, even though like their post gets like 1,000 favorites. By that metric, it means that, well, they are not doing well as far as like selling out a 6,000, 8,000 person venue, but then they do it because the fans aren't all engaging with social media. Some of them just love your shit so much and they are listening to it daily, and they are hyper fixated on when you show up again. So with those fans, they'll eventually start showing up. But is getting gigs is not your number one priority. It's fun and it's awesome, and you want to make money doing what you love by DJing the songs that you made. Yes, I get it. That is the goal. But it's more imperative, in my opinion, that you create a massive, massive, massive body of work and make that your priority. Make your music your number one priority, and your story that you are telling with your music your number one priority. I don't think anyone blows up because they get shows, you know?
Mm.
You
No.
don't suddenly play a 1 a.m. slot at EDC main stage because you got some good gigs. That happens because you created a massive massive movement with your music and your story and the culture that you're creating around it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point about the social media and interaction not being a metric. I mean, remember when they used to judge you based off your Facebook likes? Like, it's just
Yeah,
a new version
yeah.
of that,
Facebook
right?
likes were the metric.
Yeah, that was it. And it
Yeah.
was
And then
like,
it used to be SoundCloud.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always going to be one of those things, right? And like the way you get shows is by being dope. I think is the answer, you know. And like so, and how do you become dope? You make great
Yeah.
music. You know, the other way would be you do really well on social media or something like that. And the way you do well on social media is by showcasing dope music, right? Like that it all kind of ends up in the same seed of focusing on music. So I think the answer to that
Yeah.
question is that when you're ready, like nothing, in my opinion, nothing will happen for you until the universe thinks you're ready to receive all of these like awesome things that are playing shows and meeting fans and doing all these things and meeting the people you look up to, all this stuff, right? So I think the grind revolves around your obsession with gaining knowledge, as corny as that might sound. Yeah. Like as long as you're addicted to knowledge, you'll be all right. It just may take some time, right? You can't put an end date on anything. That's super important.
It's real as shit, bro. Like I'm reading books about this shit now. I'm reading, this is not a paid advertisement, but I'm reading one called The Addiction Formula, um, by Friedman Feinstein, and it's all about creating energy curves and always creating music. It's essentially creating dopaminergic music and how to create it and creating that like need for what comes next, which is the best part of music, in my opinion, as a listener, is when you feel that like, oh, here it comes, my favorite fucking part, and you for just a little while, nothing else exists. That is just pure dopamine, just flushing through your brain.
True.
And so if you can crack that code, which I believe he's done a pretty damn good job of describing,
interesting,
then you can pretty much guarantee a hit.
What was the name of that book again? The Addiction
Formula.
All right, yes. I'm writing it down.
By Friedman Feinstein. I hope I find a scene. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Awesome. Holistic songwriting. Cool. So it's a music book.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sick. All right. The other questions we have are music production questions. So are you down to switch it up, get into some session, and we can do that to wrap things up? Let's listen to some music.
Sure.
What have you been working on?
Oh man, I've been working on this this Gengar album. It's either gonna be an album or an EP. I'm not sure. You know, I'm getting to that point where I'm condensing my favorites and bringing it down, and I want it to be all killer, no filler. Shout out Sum 41.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that, you know, all these songs are up to this standard that I've created for my own brain.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it. They're up to my standard. That's something that's very important to describe. Is they're things that I love, not things I think people will love. I could care less, honestly, when I'm creating it. I don't care if other people will like it. It's entirely like how I'm feeling about it. But yeah, I've been working on the Gengar album / EP, and I've got probably 50 Ghastly songs that I'm sitting on right now.
Holy shit. How often do you make music?
I could be sitting on a song that could. I make it as much as I possibly can, man.
50?
And aside from this, well, yeah, that's from the last like 2 or 3 years of not releasing much Ghastly.
Right.
I've only put out like one song in the last 3 years. I've just been so focused on Gengar because it's so fucking fun, man. I love it. I get to go so nonsensical with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, here, let me is my audio sharing right now? Oh yeah, here we go. I remember how we do this.
Do the thing.
That's right. That's right. This should be good. All right, you see this?
It's loading. Yes. We do a sound check. We're good.
Where's the meeting? Yeah, but I can't see you anymore. I don't know what happened here. Oh well.
I'm still here.
Okay. Well, yeah, so this is This is a track that I'm working on with my boy, Psychedelic. He's the vocals, and I just produced the whole damn. Oh wait, that's
Wait,
not
output.
correct. I gotta switch
Output.
it over. Yes, which is Zoom audio. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I just can't get you out of my head.
All my days going crazy when I hop on stage. Everybody know I got that rage. Going hard like I'm Johnny Cage. All the mama pass me, hop on the phone and tax me. With a guy when I go in hard when I drive around like it's crazy taxi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. So hard that I gotta get by. More far more than more boys try. Far but I am so high. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Tuesday. You know, far but I come in too big. We come far but prove it. He was Ghastly, yeah, we stupid. I don't have to laugh. Whole boy when I come in poppin'. I cop the comb with the pattern. I come pussy boy, what's happening? In the most top. Hop before when I come to the top. Climb on top when I come to the pop. All you spit is a ball. Climb on top when I come to the pop. All you spit is a bumble clap. All you spit is a bumble clap.
Yeah, I've been fucking with this. This is so. I love making 180 drum and bass. Honestly, it's like a secret of mine. I really do
fast.
love it so much.
I love it.
But that, yeah, it's so fun. I've got that one. I've got quite a few I'm working on here. I have not heard this since I worked on it. Super stoned. I'm not sure how it's gonna sound right now, but I don't fucking care. Let's have a listen. So there's obviously, if it's in the box, it's incomplete, but I really am loving the direction of all these tracks. What was the production question?
We got a few here. One of them is what is your favorite? What are some of your favorite plugins? Another question was how do you make your drops heavier and fuller? I think those are our main two.
Yeah.
I'd also personally love to know, like, mentally where you start when you start something new. Like, where's the seed?
The seed starts, in my opinion, there's no perfected starting point. Sometimes it'll be a melody, sometimes it'll be just a drum beat, sometimes it'll be just sound design. Like I got this one that I did with Izzy Vadim that is like it all started from me just fucking with like Serum and just trying to make a wonky ass fucking bass. And then it turned into this, John.
Ravers wander in and out, some laugh, some talk, and it appears that some are doing drugs.
Yeah, just fucking I love and that all started from just like making that synth. And then it became the whole fucking song.
Sick.
But,
I do
as
think we're
far
in
as,
mono,
like,
by the
listening-
way.
For what?
Did you hit the stereo button?
Oh, am I in mono? Shit.
I wanted
Here,
to catch
is
it
there
as
a way
early
that
as possible.
I may have
Here's what I can do.
forgotten
I can
to.
just hit the stop sharing, and then when you share again, just hit the shares, the arrow next to
Okay.
share sound. That
Share
says stereo.
sound. Yeah, now I'm in stereo. Yep.
All right, tight.
You're absolutely correct. That was all in mono. So for anyone who was like, bro, this sounds like
I'm
fucking
not gonna
ass.
lie. It sounded. I
in
was
mono.
listening, and I was like, "This
Might
is
be.
mono, and it sounds great." So like they did sound very good. So
right.
you're straight. They're done. Let's hear it. What you
Right
got?
on. Thank you, brother. Very cool. Yeah, let's hear this one. This one obviously it says fixed intro, so there's gonna be some bits, but whatever. I have not listened to this in headphones yet, so let's see how it goes. second drop is not done, so I'm not gonna play it. But yeah, that sounds better than I thought it would.
It sounded awesome. Oh, Swage is in the chat. The fucking legend. Thanks for gifting the sub, Swage. You absolute king.
What up,
The
Swage?
goat. Dude,
Very
awesome.
cool.
Super clean, super loud, super big. Awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Love this one. Heavy. Clean.
Oh, and that's honestly, I put a little bit of saturator in G clip. I went gnarly on it.
It sounds
On the
loud.
fucking
It
master.
sounds like it. Yeah. What's cracking on the master here? What are we doing? Are we boosting G clip? Or are we pushing the limiter? What's going on here?
We're just doing it such a slight amount of saturation at 100%, but just 0.7 decibels.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my Pro Q on here. My Pro Q is just cutting out the inaudible, which is just great for cleanliness. And obviously Pro L comboed with G clip is debatable, but
No, I like
think
it.
that
I do
has
it. I've done it.
brought
I've done
out,
it. It's fine.
Some certain sonic frequencies in the track that I get why it's debatable, because it's like trying to use two wrenches to screw the same screw, but sometimes that's what you need to do because not all screws are made the same.
Yeah, and it's
But,
dubstep, so fuck them.
Yeah, this one, yeah, it's dubstep. You gotta have fucking fun. I sampled A Day to Remember right here for the melody of the drop.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's sick because it layers as a chant as well.
One of the as far as the master. Yeah, and I feel like that's that's one of my favorite things is the dubstep where everyone just goes da 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 all together. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it feels good in that aspect.
When you I wanted to ask a question about Gengar. Is Gengar just besides like the obvious, like what's the difference between Gengar and Ghastly? You know, Gengar is just all things bass,
All things heavy. All things heavy. But that can be, it's heavy either in a wook way or in a like bro step way or in whatever, but it's not always heavy. That's the thing, is like this song that I was just playing, like this is not heavy. It's fun. Wonky and fun.
Yeah.
Like that type of shit is, you know, it's just an outlet for me to make primarily dubstep. But as far as my live sets are concerned, I've been playing some of the Gengar additional genres, such as like, let me see, Get Back. Do I have this one ready to go? This is also not complete. I need to chop this one in proper, but this would be the first like Gengar like bass house song ever. But I'm not done with it. But anyway.
Why you all in my ear talking a whole bunch of shit that I ain't trying to hear? Get back, motherfucker,
So
dope.
Probably gonna, and that's the thing is I love making dubstep, but man, like I'll tell you, nobody loves bass house more than people who have heard dubstep for 4 hours straight.
So true, dude. That's so true. Like when it's like sunset at Lost Lands and the bass, like the fucking bass house hero appears during, you know, and it's just like everyone is just relieved and they can still just rage. You know, bass house is
Just such a
debatably
solid palette
dubstep. You know, yeah.
great
It's
palette
just what's
cleanser.
needed. Totally.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is great, man. Do you have any sauce to share? Any secret sauce that you think is just something valuable of any level? Just something you like to do that makes music production fun for you?
Honestly, a lot of it, as you can see here, resampling is like where I have the most fun. because you can be the greatest sound designer in the world, and that is obviously a badass thing to have on your belt. And when at the end of the day, once you have it in audio, there are things that you can do that simply it is unattainable from just audio or just sound design. And that's where it gets so fun because you can literally, like here, for example, this is like a ridiculous example. But my nephew asked me when I was trying to explain this to him, he asked me, well, does that mean that you can just make songs out of anything? And I was like, well, yeah, you could even make a song out of a fart. And he was like, what? No way. And so I made this song out of a fart. Hold on, let me
What's
find it
gonna get
real
a
quick.
nephew more excited than a fart concept, you know?
Exactly, bro. Oh man. Is this playing out of oh, there
I
we go.
can't
I just
hear
gotta
it.
do this real quick. 1 second. Love iCloud. I love iCloud. It's
shit.
so cool, bro.
Oh
All right,
God.
here we go. Dark red. Here it is. So this is made with ICP vocals and fart and a kick and a snare.
Oh shit. Fuck
So
my
the
roommate
beginning is just
door.
fart noises, but
Oh shit.
so that bass is a fart.
Really?
Did you see it?
Yeah, man. it's just a fart sample down to its most infinitely small, like transient, repeating infinitely fast while
Right.
there's portamento and glide on it. And so it allows for that rah, 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 and it has that perfect little glide in between. But point being is samplers, you can take a sound that you in Serum, resample it, tweak it into something brand new, and then put it into simpler or sampler or any kind of sampler and just go fucking wild with it. I think it's just so important that you have fucking fun, and just resampling is so fucking fun. Yeah, and also oh shit, what was the question? I just brain farted.
The question was secret sauce? Any sauce?
Secret sauces. Yeah. Yeah.
Just things you
Let me
like
see.
doing
I got
that
some
are
crazy
awesome.
things
You know, things that help you move along that just are helpful. Also, one of the questions from the Nexus members were your favorite plugins.
Favorite plugins, honestly, a majority of it is stock and Serum. But when I want to have like some creative fun, there's quite a few things. Like there's a lot of cool free stuff too. Like this Ruina.
Ruina's crazy, dude. Yeah, Ruina is sick.
Oh, and here's someone who's badass is Nosphere.
Legend.
Nosphere makes some pretty cool racks, man. Like let me just show you real quick. This one's insane. This is also not a sponsored ad, but you can buy these things for.
No, this is sponsored for
Patreon.
Nosphere
They're
for
fucking
sure.
badass.
Yeah.
So just to give you an example, like here's this audio, right? It's literally me just going whoa, whoa, right? But if I bring it down an octave, pop these bad boys on. What?
What?
It's totally broken. If I bring it down another octave, it's probably hectic. Like, yeah, what the fuck? Now you got
Ew.
pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, and this is where I love audio because you just do this kind of shit. Like being able to drag an audio sample and like having them perfectly fade into each other is so fun. Because, but yeah, that all started from just fucking, and honestly, the rack is genius because it's just an ass load of fucking EQs, which we all know causes dispersion.
Mm-hmm. Holy.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
And then, let's see if I just drag this out. Whoops. Like, that's a fucking healthy little screech if you're going for that kind of a sound.
That's a good one.
And also, I make a lot of my resampling. A lot of it is done in beats mode under texture. You just get some insane fucking. You get so many crazy textures that you could have never found. They don't exist in any other realm unless you actually do the damn thing. Um, all of a sudden, fucking just me going me, so stupid.
Crazy.
So that's my favorite part of just audio in particular. Like when I've worked with like Joyride or when I saw Skrillex working, they did so much audio work, and it seems they make it look so simple, but I think the most simple way to put it is to get out of your fucking way and just let yourself have fun and experiment, because a lot of people will be working on a sound or a style or a song and they're getting really close. And it's like you said earlier, that when you have the most resistance is when you're the closest to what you're going for. And I've had so many moments where like I'll get stressed with this sound, I get frustrated with it. I'm like, ah, and then I just say fuck it and I try one other thing and then I'm like, wait a second. Holy shit. And it's because you're hitting the wall, and the wall has to be hit a couple times before it breaks through.
Absolutely.
So you gotta just get out of your way. Get the fuck out of your way. And just who knows, like I don't know what this is gonna do. I'll literally just do this and then fucking Command J, consolidate, and then envelope, or yeah, and then we'll go clip transposition, and I'll go down. Let's go 4. Like I don't know what the fuck this is gonna do. But that is a great texture for like if you're doing like a heavy bass drop and a bow bow, and then it's like that bow.
Uh-huh.
You have that like layer underneath. Oh, someone asked that. They said, "How do you make your drops bigger?"
Yes, they did. Yeah.
To be honest, it's so much of just textures and layering, and you know when it sounds full, but if your song is lacking that umph, like you love the rhythm, you love the way it sounds, but there's something missing, a lot of times it's in the textures, it's in the ambience in the background, it's in the time. One of my favorite things about mainstream production and like your Justin Bieber records is, of course, everything is perfect and it all sounds good. But if you remove the background textures and layers, those songs are fucking empty. But what's crazy is you can barely hear them. You can barely hear those background layers and textures and those types of like huge pop records. But those are what fucking carry those songs. Obviously, the lyrics and the vocals too, because like who's that one song? It's like that Missy, not a Missy Elliott. It's like a Beyonce song that just sounds. Oh yeah, All the Single Ladies. Have you ever heard the instrumental of that track?
It's just drums, right?
It's so bad, bro. No, it's worse than that. It's so much worse than that. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. You
pull
just
that
share
out.
here. Wait, yeah, you can just here. I'll stop sharing. All you have to do is share your like monitor. Like when you go to share screen, just do like screen 1 or whatever.
Okay, copy. Here, let me pull up the video first. Because I don't have the instrumental locked into my laptop.
What? You don't?
It's all the no, I don't got all the single ladies. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. Oh yeah, instrumental. And I hope this is the one that I think it is. Let me see real quick. Oh my god, an ad? Good lord.
We were just talking about YouTube Premium. You got it in your life, but not on the actual app.
I know, but because I'm using Google Chrome right now. I'm usually on Brave. No thanks. Play a song. Listen to this.
You just gotta. You have to share your.
You
You have to share your screen.
Oh, right. Ding dong mode. All right. Here we go. Sorry, I'm kind of a Zoom noob. Here we go.
All good.
All right, desktop one, and then share audio. Okay. All right, check this track out. It's so silly, bro.
What?
Bro, who heard this and said that is a hit song beat? What the fuck? Like, it sounds like it literally sounds like
I've never heard
if
this
someone
before. That's
got
insane.
Ableton. It sounds like someone got Ableton and like this is like the third thing that they've ever made. All the single A's. All the single A's. Really? But
That's
the
so
thing, is
funny.
that- and with that, on that, what I wanted to illustrate by showing that here, I don't know how to. Can you unshare that? So
Yeah, I
go
got
back
you.
to,
I got you.
Ableton?
Yep.
What the reason I wanted to share that is because a lot of people think that like the song has to be perfect before we put any vocals on. It's like, bro, the vocals are all that carry some songs. Like
Yeah.
some songs the beat is so ass, but the vocals are good, and she makes tens of millions of dollars off of that song. I don't know how much, honestly, but it's a popular song.
It's
Everyone
high.
knows it.
Yes.
And the beat is absolute dog water.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, when you're making music. Like, melody is so fundamental. It's everything. But yeah, is there any more production questions?
No, I think we can wrap it here. I wanted to ask you one, just like a silly question, towards the end here.
All right, let's hear it.
My silly question is, if you were a Super Smash character in real life, what character represents you?
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
No, okay, wait. Deeper. What character represents Ghastly, and what character represents Gengar? It might actually be easier.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with Bowser Jr. represents Ghastly because of the versatility of the sounds. There's so many different tools with Bowser Jr. You have all your bombs, but you also have a really wide variety of like, your in-air attacks are great. And also his cart is just unstoppable if you know how to use it. Whereas Gengar would be Bowser because he is just one fucking thing. He's just one fucking thing. He's just this fast, heavy player that will grab and destroy. And I think that is those are both my S tiers. Those are both of my S tiers.
That's really good.
I've whooped some serious ass with both of them. They're my favorites.
I don't think there's a coincidence that they're both junior version. One is a junior version of the other.
It
can't
God
be.
Doesn't
It
like
can't be.
coincidences. Everything's planned.
Okay, dude. Amazing. So someone in the chat says that Gengar is Sephiroth. Which I don't know how you feel about that statement, but
Gengar is Sephiroth. That's kind of hardcore. I dig that because Sephiroth is fucking badass.
I mean, he's the greatest
Sephiroth
video
is a
game
gangster.
character of all time, probably. But okay, that's
Yeah.
we'll
Definitely up there.
we will wrap it there. I wanted to say thank you so much for your infinite wisdom. I honestly, I missed you, man. That's why I initially reached out to you. I was like, I haven't talked to David in a while.
too, brother.
We need to catch up, and this is such a good
Yeah.
way to do it. And you always truly do have infinite wisdom. You've always been wise beyond your years, and always been such a fun person to talk to and have around and just be around and gather inspiration from. I've really been loving watching not only your journey continue and grow as an artist as you get older, but also like in your family and your personal life. It's been truly like awesome to watch. I'll always be in your corner, backing you up and always be there for you, man. And I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an honor.
Dude, the honor's all mine, and I genuinely appreciate those words. That's really kind of you. It's been a long journey for both of us, man. And
Yeah.
you and your family are doing so wonderful, and you're gonna get that fucking house, bro. You're gonna get it. And
coming.
I'm so happy for you. And yeah, man, it's been great. I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's been fun. I feel like we touched on so many things that a lot of people need to hear. And for those who are here and listening, thank you so much for joining us. I am very honored that you decided to spend your time with us today. That's fucking fun. And I had a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
And Max, obviously the legendary number one motherfucker when it comes to this type of shit. I appreciate you very much because I learn a lot from your posts. Like you've awakened a few, like your technicalities have allowed me to like obviously get past so many brick walls where I'm like, no shit, like that's you make TikToks that make me say no shit all the time. Like, duh, I should have fucking done that. So I appreciate that.
Dude, thank you. That means the world to me. That's awesome. I love to hear that. We're both going to keep it up, and we're both just going to live it. And I really hope that I can see you soon, man. That would be super awesome.
Yeah, man. Anytime you're in Denver, you know my number. Hit me.
Yeah,
up.
100%,
Absolutely.
man. All right, awesome. Well, we'll leave it at that. I love you, brother. I will talk to you soon, man. Let's stay in touch, and I wish the
Love
best
you
for
too,
you and
man.
your family.
Absolutely.
And I'll holler at you soon. All right.
And to yours as well, my friend. Speak soon.
All
Take
right,
care.
brother. Later, man.
Peace.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all so much. I'll see you guys next month.
Check it.